Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while since our last video, but we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to start off with some NFL content, more specifically some recapping of the divisional weekend, and then going into our picks for the upcoming conference games. So we're just going to start off with the two Saturday games, the 49ers and the Vikings, and the Ravens and the Titans. For me, for the first game, really no surprises there.
I mean, San Francisco is a powerhouse in the NFC.
I-
They can
it
be
really-
beaten, but
Really, it's their defense that's just unstoppable.
Minnesota just kind of had a lucky win a
Yeah,
couple weeks ago against New Orleans because a lot of people had the Saints in the Super Bowl
Yeah.
in the NFC, but Kirk Cousins proved the doubters wrong in that game and then just gave them an even bigger slate to harp on him from this past weekend because he looked absolutely terrible.
yeah.
The Vikings in general just couldn't move the ball. They couldn't
I mean,
stop the
honestly,
49ers.
it kind of seemed like Dalvin Cook was a little injured.
He didn't have
'Cause
production
he
at
wasn't.
all.
Yeah, he wasn't a factor.
I mean, the 49ers defense, like you said, is
It,
very good.
Yeah,
That's why I'm leaning towards them, but we'll get to that later. But
and then
they're a
yeah.
good team.
Moving on to the next game, the Titans and the Ravens. The Cinderella
yeah.
story continues.
They are absolutely the Cinderella because they were the last team to get in. They got in week 17, and they've handled probably the two AFC favorites
Yeah,
relatively easily. It
all
seems like.
season long.
And they went in New England in the wild card, and that game was no one really. It was kind of 50-50 both ways because you could have seen either
and it
outcome.
was close.
It was a close game, but New England didn't have an offense, and they couldn't stop Derrick Henry. And
Yeah.
then you come into Baltimore, the best team in the league, probably by a good margin for the regular season.
First
Dominic-
off,
yeah.
you stop MVP season,
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
You handle him. I mean, he still got his
And-
own. He had 500 total yards, but
But that didn't translate
No.
to points.
You held the highest scoring offense in the league, who averaged well over 30 points a game, to 12 points at home. And they still couldn't stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And it's like, they were both teams loaded the box, both teams played fast, and Henry just ran right over him. So
Derrick Henry's just
unless
been godlike these
if
past
Kansas
3
City
weeks.
if Kansas City can't figure them out, we might be seeing a 6th seed in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, Kansas City doesn't really have a defense.
And if one of their strengths, they're more susceptible to run than the pass
Yeah.
because they have a little bit of a secondary with Matthew, but they really couldn't stop the Texans.
Yeah.
So and that's where we'll jump right to next
Yeah.
with Kansas City seemingly stomping on the Texans when yet the whole first 15 minutes it was the opposite.
See, I can't commentate
Yeah.
too much on these two games as I was driving
Uh-huh.
for both of these games.
But Houston jumped out to a 24-0 lead like it was nothing. And Kansas City looked on the ropes. And then it took them 10 minutes to score 4 touchdowns and jump up at halftime 28-24. If this doesn't terrify the rest of the teams that are left, something should, because everybody knew Kansas City could score at will. And
Yeah.
they will.
I mean, for me, it was just kind of with the Texans game. It was like, took a little break from driving, and it was 24-0. And next thing I know, next time
You
I
look,
check, and it's
28. It's
35-24.
Yeah, and it's just...
Like,
it didn't make any sense, and a lot of people, including myself, are very critical of Bill O'Brien's play calling in the second half because it was bad. I mean, even in the second quarter when you had a big lead, why are you going for it on 4th down in your own territory? Some people believe he's the worst coach in the league. Now, I don't think it's that far.
yeah,
But-
I don't go that far.
I mean, the dude's winning divisions. Like, he's winning
he's
winning the regular season.
He's winning divisions that
But-
are easy to win.
But it's not translating because I saw a stat that since Bill O'Brien was hired, I believe the Texans have won the division 4 times. But
Have they been the
each
fourth
the
seed
other
all-
each of the other 3 teams have reached the AFC Championship game. The Titans this year, the Colts a couple years ago, and the Jags a few years back.
Yeah,
Like, that just doesn't. Something's wrong. And then the final game, which I believe and everybody thought was going to be the best game of the weekend, was Green Bay and Seattle. Now, it didn't live up to quite. I mean, it wasn't as exciting as it could have been. But the biggest of this game was, did Jimmy Graham get the first down? Multiple angles show he did. Multiple angles show he didn't. People are complaining because then Seattle would have got the ball back, had a chance to win, but a lot are saying that Green Bay got the home field advantage of
yeah.
positioning.
Which, who knows?
Game speed, it looked like he was short. Even review speed, it kind of looked like he was short, but they gave it to him. That could be questionable. The refs have been bad all year. I'm not going to blame anybody, but I mean, I would have loved to see either one of these teams go.
It's a 60-minute game.
Yeah.
It can't come down to one.
That's the
one
thing.
play.
Is it shouldn't be one play shouldn't decide a whole game, but a lot of the times it does in the playoffs, and that's what kind of sucks. So,
well, we're gonna move on now. Now that we're done reviewing, we're gonna go into our picks. We're gonna start off with the game that is a surprise factor: the Titans at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
What a weird conference championship game this is.
It's very odd. I mean, you
does
got
Andy Reid get his chance at a Super Bowl
again, but then this time he won't have to play New England, either side of the ball. See, it's really difficult because when you got these few teams left, they should all be equal in something. Now, this game, it's perfect because you have strength against weakness of each team. Because the Titans' running game against the Chiefs' defense is definitely strength.
Well, I mean, you can really say that for the other game, too.
Yeah, but I feel like for the NFC game, it's Aaron Rodgers against that defense. That's what people are going to be tuning in to see. This game, you got Derrick Henry against Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Who do you trust more? Who's going to get the ball first, granted? Because if the Titans get the ball first, they could run that ball down, waste half the quarter, and score.
See, that's the thing, though, is like, even though Patrick Mahomes is so good, if Derrick Henry has 150 yards in this game, Titans are winning. Because that means that he is running. Granted, he could get a lot of this on a chunk play, but
the point is they're getting more time of possession, keeping Mahomes off the field.
Exactly,
he can't
and that's how you beat Mahomes, is you don't have him on the field.
But as you saw this past weekend, he scored 4 touchdowns in 10 minutes. And just quick. I mean, that was against a decent Texans defense. I mean, I would probably prefer having the Titans defense over the Texans defense.
Yeah, I mean, the Titans defense showed that they could stop
Lamar Jackson, so we'll see. But
I mean, Lamar. See, the biggest thing for me in that game was that they took out the Ravens tight ends. And
they
Travis
pretty much,
Kelce is one of Mahomes' favorite targets. So
it's
that'll be an interesting matchup.
Right. Now, the Ravens' 3-headed monster at tight end is lethal, and Mark Andrews was pretty much eliminated from the game. I mean, he did have a bad drop. The one pick, I believe it was intended for him. It bounced right off his hands, right into Kevin Byard's hands. Now, that's on you. That's not on Lamar. He put it right where it needed to be. But what I'm getting to is Travis Kelce's a different animal. He
is, but...
And that's also the same to say for the next game with Kittle. Is you have the 2 best tight ends in football left, and they both can seemingly just get open. But so what I'm going to get to is I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I'm not going to be surprised if either team wins.
Okay.
But I think I like the Chiefs.
I'm going to take the Titans in this one.
Okay.
Just because really the Chiefs' defense is abysmal.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just I'm taking home field advantage over a lesser.
That's fair, but
thing.
The Titans walked into New England in the playoffs.
I mean, they walked into New England and Baltimore and pretty much stepped on them. So
so I really don't think home field advantage is all that. Plus, you have a championship head coach because Vrabel's won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
as a player,
and
not as a coach.
he wants to. He's a player's coach. People want to play for him. And Andy Reid, I mean, his time might be close to done if he doesn't win this Super Bowl.
So yeah, I'm gonna take the Titans in this one. 6 seed.
Yeah.
The Cinderella story continues.
And then for the NFC game, I don't even think. I'm gonna say that this game is probably gonna be more spread out than the other one is.
Yeah. I don't think this game's gonna be all that close.
No. And I think we can
it-
both assume who's probably going to win. I think we both are leaning the same way, I feel like.
I'm leaning 49ers.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want it to be Chiefs and Packers because then it would be the Super Bowl of State Farm. But the 49ers defense, I mean, that front four, like, you know how teams say they have a great front seven? These guys have a front four that most teams can't
even
get
when they
past.
have their backups in it,
Yeah.
it was still dominant.
I mean, DeForest Buckner and Eric Armstead are mammoths. I mean,
and
they are
then you had
both
Nick Bosa and
Nick
Dee
Bosa,
Ford
Dee
on
Ford.
the outside.
And
Those two.
Their rotation
Plus
pieces
Quan Alexander's getting
Yeah.
healthier.
and Sherman and Rodgers
Solomon
is Rodgers is the quarterback that you could put trust in to beat anybody.
Yeah, but you have to
you
give him
can't.
time to
Yeah.
throw the ball, and he's not going to have much time.
I mean, he's got a good running game, but that's like Dalvin Cook was a good running game, and the 49ers shut him down.
Dalvin Cook's one of the better running attacks, which honestly, so obviously Super Bowl prediction then for me would be 49ers Titans. Derrick Henry and his unstoppable force that he's been on the past 3 weeks versus that 49ers front four would be something worth watching.
But see, with that is like, and the also reason I'm hoping it's Chiefs 49ers is that if either of those AFC teams go up against that San Francisco defense, like the Titans are so one dimensional in these plays. Like Tannehill's doing what he can. He's not turning the ball over.
Tannehill hasn't thrown over 100 yards in either game.
Well, he's thrown for 160 combined yards. And
they still won.
The two quarterbacks he's faced, I'm pretty sure combined for over 500.
Yeah.
So like, and if Aaron Rodgers can't throw on this team, and if Aaron Jones can't get running, the 49ers might be the champs by the time we talk again in 2 weeks. So, but I'm saying Chiefs 49ers and you're saying Titans 49ers. I think we can agree that the Packers are probably. But see, everybody said this wildcard weekend and Minnesota went in and shocked New Orleans. No one gave Minnesota a shot. But I think this is a little bit different than Green Bay. I think it would be a bigger upset if Green Bay goes into San Francisco and wins.
Yeah, I mean,
because this game's pretty even, and I'm surprised they gave Kansas City that many points.
Yeah,
that big of a spread, but San Francisco, the spread in that I can agree with. So.
See, it's just I don't know. I mean, Minnesota Saints, they kind of have a history. I wasn't really too shocked when I saw the.
Of course, it had to end in controversy though, because that's the same way. But
Saints way.
So, well, we'll talk more about that later. But so that's this video
wraps it up. See you guys next time.